Hey everyone, glad you could make it here today. My name is Rob. I'm an attorney from Massachusetts, and today let's discuss Amber Heard hires a new legal team. And I'm going to give you my reaction as an attorney. Again, I'm Rob. I'm licensed to practice law in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and we're going to be talking about Virginia law. So I just want to make clear that I am a Massachusetts attorney and I'm going to give you my perspective of what is happening in this case from the perspective of a Massachusetts attorney. The trial for Amber took place in Virginia. The appeal is going to take place in Virginia. I practice law in Boston, and I'm a Massachusetts attorney. And just right off the bat, if you have a legal problem, you should contact an attorney. Don't rely on what I say in this video. If you have a problem, contact an attorney. Talk to that attorney in person. Get personalized legal advice, and you'll be better off. So let's get right into this. Again, my name is Rob, and you can see here that if you would like to follow me on Twitter, I'd appreciate a follow on Twitter. But we're going to get right into this, and we'll get right to this article. But on Monday, Amber Heard announced that she was switching legal counsel from Elaine to a new counsel, a bigger law firm, really. And the law firm is called Ballard Spahr. And that is a pretty big law firm compared to the law firm that Elaine had. And I think Elaine's law firm had 5 or 6 attorneys. We can get to that if you'd like. But at this point, let's just take a look at what this article has to say, because I think some of it is pretty interesting. And just bear with me here. As I said in some previous streams, it's been a while since I've done live streams. And I used to do quite a few of them, but I haven't for a while. And I'm getting used to the technology, and it's kind of fun. And I'm so glad that you could come and join us here today. But let's take a look at this article, because I think it's kind of interesting. It says Amber Heard hires new legal team for appeal, and she scraps Elaine B. I like to say Elaine B because I don't like to try to pronounce her last name. And it's kind of funny, isn't it? When you look at this picture of Amber, I mean, she's a pretty woman. But in this picture, she looks like really, really serious. And a lot of the pictures of Amber seem to be like these really serious pictures of a woman that doesn't have to look as serious as she did in the trial. And we'll get into this, but I think that was one of the mistakes that her legal team at trial made. And part of their responsibility as an attorney, part of an attorney's responsibility is not only to know the law, but to know the court, to know the judges, to know the clerks in the court, to know the culture of the court, to kind of anticipate what the jury is going to want to see. And they should have been running focus groups, and maybe they were running focus groups. I think it was pretty evident that Brown Rudnick, Johnny Depp's attorneys, were running focus groups, because they seem to do almost everything the right way. They were right on top of things. And we're going to get into some of that in this video. But let's take a look at this article first. And it says that Amber Heard is out with the old and is in with the new when it comes to her legal representation. She's scrapping a key attorney on a team and bringing in the big guns. And the big guns are David Axelrod and J. Ward Brown of Ballard Spahr. And we can take a look at kind of what they look like, just like pretty quickly. Let's see if I can get up here and get my picture off of here. And this is Axelrod here. And he's a pleasant enough looking guy. I like the purple tie and, perfectly coiffed hair. That's kind of cool. And we won't get into his experience right now, because I want to get back to that article on TMZ. But let's take a quick look at Jay Brown here. Jay Ward Brown. And again, he looks competent enough. I mean, pictures tell the story, right? So he looks good enough. I mean, just wanted to give you an idea of what these guys look like. Just regular human beings like everybody else. And let's get back to here. And it kind of brings me to a point because personally, I went to Boston College and a law school called New England Law School in Boston. And I practiced law with a lot of different attorneys, and some of them go to Harvard Law. Some of them have gone to Harvard Law School. And the point is that when you're in court and when you're practicing law, when you're in the battle in the courtroom, nobody asks you what law school that you went to. And if you're a competent attorney, and part of that competent means to prepare, to anticipate, to maybe run focus groups, to know the law, to anticipate what's going to happen. It's like the Marine Corps. Now, I was an attorney in the Marine Corps. I was an infantry officer. I was a major in the United States Marine Corps. And Marines are always kind of anticipating the next move of the enemy. And it's not quite like that in the law because hopefully other attorneys don't consider their opponents as the enemy, but it is in a way, it's an adversarial proceeding. And nobody ever asked me what law school I went to, and I know I've been practicing law with some attorneys that have gone to Harvard Law School, and I really haven't noticed any big difference in the quality of representation, except lawyers are human beings, and sometimes they're lazy and they don't do the job that they're supposed to do. But in this particular case, we're again looking at the actress who is currently appealing the Johnny Depp verdict, announced on Monday that she's hired the law firm of Ballard Spahr as she ventures into the appellate court. Appellate attorneys, just to give you some breakdown on this and to give you some feedback and some reaction, appellate attorneys are stuck with what happened at trial. And I'll kind of get into that right now a little further. And what I mean by stuck is when somebody appeals a case, they don't have a whole new trial in the appellate court. It's not the appeals court judges, and there's usually 3 appellate court judges that look at what happened at the trial court. And their job is not to look at what happened for the first time. Their job is to look at what happened to see if legal error was made. And it's a job of Amber's attorneys to bring out information, to bring to the attention of the appellate court what they think has been legal errors. And it's a job of Johnny's legal team to determine, to look at what Amber says and say, no, sir, no legal errors were committed, and this is why. And you give, the appellate attorneys would give some reasons as to why there was no legal errors committed. But Amber hired a new law firm, and I really don't blame her for doing that. If she has the resources to do it, it's probably a good idea. We have Ben Rottenborn staying behind, leave no team member behind, I guess. That's a Marine Corps kind of concept too, but that's not what happened in this case. We're getting well beyond what happened. Ben is staying on board, and he's being a link between the old team and the new team. And Elaine who represented Amber Heard for the 6-week trial, is no longer going to be the appellate counsel. And again, I'm not surprised. But let's take a look at this picture. And again, we see Elaine looking out, and like just looking out. And it looks like she's like contemplating something, and so isn't Amber. They're both like not looking directly at the camera. And look at Amber. She's like dressed, again, pretty woman, but she's dressed like she's going to a funeral. She's dressed in a gray suit, very serious, buttoned up top. Did Elaine run any focus groups on what Amber should have been wearing during the trial? That's part of the job as an attorney, to make sure your client is coming across like they should be coming across. Like Amber should have come across as a likable human being. She should have come across as like the girl next door, like your neighbor, like somebody that's likable. And the jury had to feel that. They had to understand that, Amber's not an actress. She could be my neighbor. She could be my, whoever. I could run into her at the grocery store and say hi. But she looks like she's serious, and she looked that way throughout the trial. And Johnny didn't. Johnny looked like the guy next door, like the boy next door, like somebody you could approach in the grocery store and say, "Hey, brother, what's happening? Can I have your autograph?" And he'd like smile and pick out, uh, give you a pen and a piece of paper, and you could have your autograph. And that's the way it should be. And there's no reason that it shouldn't be that way. So let's get right back into this. I just wanted to check to make sure that I was broadcasting, because I've done a couple of these earlier in the day and it wasn't broadcasting. So I don't want to waste your time or my time, but Amber is keeping Ben Rottenborn on board in addition to Axelrod and Brown, but she's losing one lawyer, Elaine, who was the lead counsel during a trial. And her departure from the team isn't really explained beyond saying she's just stepping down. Again, let me give you a little bit of reaction on that. That would be normal too. There's no way Elaine could come in here in public and say, or private, and say anything negative anyway about Amber. And I'm sure she wouldn't anyway. But we have rules as attorneys that prohibit us from saying anything negative against clients, because an attorney's job is to represent a client as best as possible. But you can see this picture that Elaine again seems exasperated, and she's not looking too, I would say, likable herself. She's looking pretty stern. She's looking pretty serious. She's looking pretty uptight. And when you go into court, there's a balance between looking professional and looking like, unapproachable, looking serious. Like, I don't know if I don't think I'd want to go out and have breakfast with this attorney, because I think they would yell at me. I mean, that's what a jury member might be thinking. Did they do focus groups? Let's get back up to this picture, because I think it's pretty important to give you some information on this. And that would be, if you looked at the undisclosed documents that were recently released in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, you'll see some information regarding motions in limine. And motions in limine are pre-trial documents, pre-trial motions that, let's get down here, let's get this over here a little bit, pre-trial motions that an attorney brings to keep information away from the jury. So Amber brought some motions to ask the judge to not allow Johnny Depp to bring up information about Amber and her, pledges to charity, her giving to charity. The point is, Elaine, this woman you see on the left, knew months in advance that issue was going to be brought up at trial, because the motion in limine must have been denied, because we all remember those scenes where where Camille was cross-examining Amber about her gifts to charity. Part of the job of an attorney is to make sure that the client is prepared for being examined by the other attorney, in this case, Camille Vasquez. The basic rule of cross-examination is to never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. Camille knew the answer to the question regarding charities. She knew that there was some kind of give and take regarding pledges, and that the charity gift never went through. But the point is, this woman on the left, Elaine, could have cut that off at the pass and said, "Hey, prepared Amber. Hey, Amber, be 100% honest when you get a question like this from Camille Vasquez or Ben Chu and answer it truthfully, but say, just be honest. Say, I didn't give the gift yet. I'm going to tell you right now, Camille, I didn't give the gift. I'm being honest. I'm, I'm planning on giving it. I know it doesn't look good for me, but I'm going to do it. And just cut that question off at the knees, as they would say. And that becomes a non-issue. Amber's honest. She brings it out. Camille doesn't get to cross-examine her anymore. And the questioning goes on. But that's not what happened. Amber was made to look like she was being untruthful, like she was trying to skirt the issue. And that shouldn't have happened. So because of that, did Amber hire, because of circumstances like that, because of incidents like that, did Amber hire new counsel on appeal to kind of get away from that? I don't know. I don't know for sure, but that could be one of the reasons. I don't know. But this article from TMZ says she's keeping Ben Rottenborn aboard. Again, but she's hiring Axelrod and Brown to help represent her on appeal, and Elaine is stepping down. Elaine says that it's a perfect time to pass the baton. She's done their due diligence. She's making sure the new team is up to date. And Elaine took a bit of a thrashing, metaphorically anyway, during the representation. Metaphorically, I think, yeah, and probably in reality. And it's a shame because she came across more or less like Amber came across, and it's a difficult job being an attorney. And Elaine didn't come across as likable as Camille Vasquez, and she didn't come across as likable as Ben Chu. Maybe it was her dress, maybe it's the way she dressed, maybe it was the way that her tone of voice, maybe it was her speech, maybe it was the way she looked at the cameras, maybe it was the way I don't know, maybe it was her personality, I have no idea, but she didn't come across as well as Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu. This article says, as for the new boys, we welcome the opportunity. They said that we welcome the opportunity to represent Amber in this appeal, as it's a case with important First Amendment implications for every American. It says America, but it should for every American. It should say for every American. Looks like a typo here. Does it have implications for every American? I don't particularly think that it does. I think it does have First Amendment implications, but it's a pretty heavy burden to prove defamation in the first place. And it was proven. The jury believed Johnny Depp. They didn't believe Amber Heard for the most part. And on appeal, it's not about whether or not the jury should have believed Amber Heard or whether the jury should have taken more of a closer look at the First Amendment issues. The people in this law firm of Ballard Spahr are stuck with whatever happened during the trial on appeal. They don't get to use new information on appeal unless, again, if you saw this earlier, unless they bring a motion for a new trial and get information before the appellate court in that way. And it's a complicated process, and I've done it in the past, but it takes a lot of resources and time to do. They might do it, but even if they bring a motion for new trial in the trial court in Virginia, the chances on appeal are not good. It's been my experience that at least 90% of the people who appeal lose, and most of the people that are defending the appeal win. And that is because the appellate court is only looking to see if legal error was committed. The judge below at trial she was a likable woman, and it looked to me like she bent over backwards and made sure that it was a fair process and made sure that the law was followed. And the jury decisions, they're given a lot of leeway on appeal, and their decisions are very rarely overturned. So no matter who the attorneys are, no matter what their experience is, no matter if they've represented Sarah Palin or they've represented nobody in particular, nobody famous. We all we're all stuck with the same way that we have to present an appeal, and these new attorneys from Ballard Spahr have to. They're they're limited to what they can do on appeal by what the facts were below. They don't have any special magic wand to sprinkle magic fairy dust to sprinkle in front of the appeals court judges to make them believe that their legal arguments are the best and Brown Rudnick doesn't know what they're talking about. That's not going to happen. So, a representative for Amber Heard said, when it comes to protecting the fundamental right of freedom of speech, we look at the jury's decision to paraphrase a famous quote, not as the beginning of the end, but merely the end of the beginning. I think I would have probably quoted something else that made a whole lot more sense than that, but I guess if we think about it for a few minutes, it might have some meaning to this appeal, but I'm not sure if those were a great source of inspiration to make me feel anyway that Amber has a better shot on appeal than she did when Elaine was representing her at the very beginning of this matter. Meanwhile, it says Johnny's getting a move on with life. The dude's now directing a movie with his old pal Al Pacino as partner. Now that sounds like a lot of fun. That's something that Amber should be thinking about, is going out and starting a life again and moving on with her life instead of fooling around with something that she's probably not going to have a huge, it's going to be an uphill battle. As I said, as an appellate attorney, it's been my experience, and I've been doing it for a while, that it's really difficult to win on appeal. No matter if you're Amber Heard or Joe the barber or Jill the hairdresser that's appealing a case, and if you have a half-decent attorney that knows what they're doing, then you're going to get a pretty good representation on appeal, whether it's Brown Rudnick or Ballard Spahr, the law firm of Ballard Spahr. But this article states, where is this from? I'm not even sure. Paramount, that Amber Heard hires new lawyers for Johnny Depp appeal. Different court warrants different representation. Again, I don't blame Amber for hiring another attorney. I think it's probably something that I would do, just because, I mean, to give you a baseball analogy, if your pitcher isn't doing very good in the ballpark, do you keep the pitcher? I mean, bring in a new pitcher from the bullpen and you start with a new one. So I don't particularly blame Amber for bringing on new counsel. I mean, she can afford it apparently, right? So let's see if we can take a look at this a little bit. I'm going to just close this a little bit so we can look at this article just a bit better. That up there, and there we go. It says Amber Heard is switching legal counsel going into her appeal on the Johnny Depp trial verdict. So that's not any new information that we didn't know. On Monday, a spokesman for the 36-year-old actress announced that she hired David Axelrod. That sounds like a good name, doesn't it? Axelrod? It sounds like there's a lot of power in that. Axelrod. Sounds better than Ben Rottenborn, her trial counsel from Elaine's firm. And J. Brown, that's a good name, I guess, to lead with Ben Rottenborn, continuing as co-counsel. Elaine B., who represented Heard in the 6-week Virginia trial, is stepping down. Again, they're kind of repeating the same information in the TMZ article. When it comes to protecting the fundamental right of free speech, we look to the jury's decision. Blah, blah, blah. Said Elaine, this is a perfect time to pass the baton. Again, we look at another picture of Elaine's legal team, and I would say that Elaine looks pretty serious, and this guy right here, that attorney, looks pretty cool. Amber looks better in that picture, Again, really serious, but I think she looks a little more likable. Again, if you heard a little bit about this appeal earlier and what happened at trial, I mean, I think Elaine's attorney did kind of a big disservice not preparing her well enough at trial, not like running more focus groups on what Amber should wear, how she should look, the expressions on her face. And again, this is another example. I mean, you can't pick the pictures that the press pool is taking, but she's dressed in black. I mean, people usually wear black when they're going to a funeral. Does look nice with her hair, but other than that, I'm not sure if I would have picked a black suit to wear to the trial because again, if you're representing Amber, if I'm representing Amber, I want I want the I want the jurors I want the jurors to look at my client and say, you know, Amber's the woman that I saw in the vegetable aisle at the grocery store, not Amber's the woman that I saw like from 100 yards away, coming out of a movie theater that is unapproachable. Does she look unapproachable in this video? I mean, you tell me. I think she could look a little more approachable if I was her attorney. I think that I might be doing a little more focus group work on that. But again, in this picture, she's dressed in a gray suit, and we don't want to recap too much. But I wanted to get this out, and Judge Penny denied Amber Heard's request for a mistrial, and after that, Heard appealed the verdict. Depp's legal team announced that they would also be appealing her countersuit verdict. And I did a video on this, and it's really something that Amber probably in her legal team, which was Elaine's legal team at the time, might not have taken into consideration. And that is if Johnny Depp filed an appeal, which he didn't, but he didn't for a little bit after Amber filed her appeal. There probably was some negotiation going on, but now let's say, let's say, John, not let's say, Amber filed her appeal. Johnny filed his appeal. Johnny is appealing the $2 million judgment that Amber got against Johnny for defamation. What could happen on this appeal? I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but it could happen that Amber loses her appeal. Johnny wins her appeal. What would happen in that situation is Amber Heard would owe Johnny $2 more million onto the bill that she already owes. Not only that, but the rules as far as attorney's fees are different on appeal. At least they are in Massachusetts. What would happen is at the trial court in Massachusetts anyway, generally what happens is if you lose the trial, you don't get to have the other side pay your attorney's fees. So let me give you a concrete example. If Amber loses her trial, Johnny wins. Johnny can go back into the trial court and say, hey, Judge Penny, I want every penny, every amount, all the money that I paid for legal fees, I want Amber to pay for this because she lost at trial. That doesn't usually happen. But on appeal, it's a different animal. On appeal, if Amber loses and Johnny wins, Amber could ask for attorney's fees. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that would really compound Amber's legal problems. I hope you can't hear that lawnmower going in the background. That's just 1 second, please. Just 1 second, please. I'm going to turn off this audio for a second and you can look at this article. There we go. Part of the part of what happens during a live stream, right? Because as you can see, I'm just this guy from Boston that doesn't really, it's this regular guy from Boston trying to do a live stream the first time in a long time. But anyway, here we go. And we're looking at this article, and just let me make sure that this has the stream is healthy, because the last time I did this earlier, it wasn't healthy, and I was doing it for like a half an hour, and I was talking to myself. So I don't want that to happen again. I want to talk to you because I really appreciate more than you would know everybody who subscribes to my channel. I've been doing this for probably a couple of years now, and I've been doing a lot of short videos, and some of them do pretty good, but the long videos I'm working on. And I decided to do some live streams so I could get some good information out to everybody who subscribes to my channel. And really, I thank you so much for subscribing. And I want to bring you the best and the most up-to-date information from a perspective of an attorney, and from the perspective of some guy that was in the United States Marine Corps as a major in the United States Marine Corps. So I bring kind of a unique point of view to legal commentary and legal reaction. I was an infantry officer in the United States Marine Corps, like every officer in the United States Marine Corps. I was trained as an attorney at the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. So again, I have this different, I'm not special, different perspective of an attorney. And I do trial work, but mostly nowadays I do appellate work. And it's interesting work, and it's difficult work, and it's complicated work. And I want to give you my perspective so you can be as informed as possible in this Amber Heard Johnny Depp appeal, and whatever other legal situations are brought up, and there's new ones all the time. There was a video that I did on what was that guy's name? InfoWars guy that said that Sandy Hook never took place. I forget his name, and it's kind of forgettable to me, but I did a video on him also, and we can bring you I will bring you up-to-date information, so I hope you'll subscribe so that this information can get out to a wider audience, and you'd be really doing me a favor, and I would really appreciate it. So I thank you, everyone who has looked at this video. I'm sorry for the stuttering, but again, I haven't done this for a long time, and I'm getting used to this technology. But here it is on Twitter. Amber Heard was trending on Twitter. And again, it never ceases to amaze me, some of the pictures of Amber and how they really do her a disservice. She doesn't have any control over what videos like the press pool takes of her. And she is very pretty. She's a pretty woman. She didn't come across very well at trial, and I can't blame her completely. I have to look to some of her attorneys for some of the stuff that happened, but she's in the news all the time, and her attorneys could have done a better job just making her look a little bit better. So Elaine was apparently trending, but it was Elaine from TV show, not Elaine from Amber Heard. Elaine. I'm going to end here, but I thank you so much, all of you, for watching this video. Thank you if you're watching this on the replay. Thank you so much. Take it easy, and please consider subscribing. And comment. I'd love to hear your comments in the video, in the comment section. Would really enjoy reading them and see what you have to say about Amber, about her appeal, about her switching legal counsel. And follow me, because I would really like to hang out with you, and we can hang out more often together if you subscribe. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.